They got it right with this Monday Night Manning. And I don't know whose idea it was. I don't know if Omaha Productions is the one that pitched this idea to ESPN. They had to greenlight it, so that is still a massively good decision. That a lot of things get said no. Whoever's idea this was, however they ran it, absolutely unbelievable. There was one person that tweeted me the gif of Kurt Angle with, it was like a beer hose, but he had milk shooting out of it from back in the Attitude Era WWE when he and Stone Cold Steve Austin were going at it or whatever. It felt like it was football information coming out of a fire hose, and you were literally just sitting there taking it all in going, holy shit, I knew nothing about football, I realized. At one point, Peyton Manning and Russell Wilson, who I love, I would like to take back everything I said into a microphone just a couple days ago in front of a crowd of 70,000 people in front of this man. Russell Wilson, Peyton Manning, and Eli Manning talking about decisions that were being made and plays that were potentially coming and coverages that I didn't even fucking know that what everybody's role was supposed to do. While they were talking about Derek Carr's performance was unbelievable piece of content. I mean, it was an unbelievable piece of content. It was amazing. Russell Wilson called a couple plays that were about to happen. Peyton Manning was calling out what the defensive coverage was immediately as they were coming out of the huddle. Peyton was in the game yesterday. It appeared, you remember when Urban Meyer was working with Fox?
Oh, yeah. On the sideline?
And by the way, Urban Meyer might be, I mean, if rumors are true.
Whoa.
We'll talk to a gentleman named Michael Lombardi, who is a former NFL general manager and part of the Patriots coaching staff and advisory and everything like that. He's won 3 Super Bowls. He's an author and everything like that. We'll talk to him about a tweet that he put out yesterday, which was basically like, hey, my sources are telling me Urban wants to go back to college. And then this USC firing happens. Something's brewing here, is what Michael Lombardi tweeted. We'll talk to him in like 25 minutes about his tweet about Urban. What does he know? How does he know? And USC coach did get fired after a few years of being terrible. So we'll see how that whole thing pans out. But you remember Urban Meyer whenever he was doing the big noon kickoff and they do an Ohio State game, or it was the national championship game and Fox was on the sideline. It was literally as if Urban Meyer was still, I think he had a fucking whistle around his suit on the sideline as he was watching the Ohio State Buckeyes. It's like one of those things that if it's in you, it's you. Watching Peyton watch that game, I think this is what he did, and I'm not 100% sure. I might be wrong. I've not asked him, but I think he watched film and got the strategy from the offense coordinator. I think he watched film for both quarterbacks. I think he broke down both defenses. He said he had personal relationships with every coach, by the way. If Peyton Manning calls, everybody's going to ask you. That PB&J story, Jim Harbaugh, whenever Peyton was working out for the 49ers or something. This must have been whenever he was potentially going to be a free agent. And it was Marty, or Wink, who's the defense coordinator for the Ravens. It was Peyton, that Duke quarterback coach. Cutcliffe, and then Jim Harbaugh, I guess, were at the workout. And they were working out somewhere. And I think it was Cutcliffe's wife maybe, or somebody asked like on the way out, like, hey, do you guys need anything? Want anything to eat or drink? And Peyton and Eli were like, she was clearly not what, it was just the right thing to say. Yeah. And Peyton goes, I said no. Cutcliffe said no, thank you. Wink said no. And Jim Harbaugh goes, yeah, I'll take PB&J. And Peyton said that he had been waiting 9 years to tell that story. He said, I've been waiting 9 years to tell that story. And I think those moments where he had the helmet on, he was even in the game, and they did the John Gruden, Derek Carr situation, and they were trying some shit out, I think, early. The best part about it was when you were watching Peyton watch football for a game that he prepared for to play, him breaking down the defense. Oh, this is cover zero. Here we go. They're coming. Yeah. Now, in this particular coverage, you do not want to throw the ball out. Why the fuck did he? Basically, as Peyton saying about this, that's where they want you to throw the ball. That can't be where you go. Then another a missed pass will happen. You'd be like, targets. Like, Peyton hates targets. I think the fact that targets is a stat he absolutely hates, because last night Darren Waller targeted 19 times, and Peyton's like, what's this targets? Like, targets, like he was the person that the ball was supposed to go to? Why is that a stat? And I think he was saying that because some of the balls were uncatchable, and it almost seems like, hey, the wide receiver can say, they can tell the wide receiver, you were targeted this many times. It's almost like so they don't get pissed off thing, but that was fucking awesome. It was a home run. And congrats to the Raiders getting a massive win. Yeah. They won one game. Peyton predicted after the first play of the game that they're only going to win 5 more this season. That was amazing. There were so many moments through there. I'm very thankful that whoever greenlighted it. It was awesome. I think they need a pregame show a little bit. I think maybe that's where you can get, maybe a guest or two out of the way there. And then I think watching him kind of get into the game for both quarterbacks was awesome. Like, we need to, and there's going to be people who say, hey, don't cut off, he cut off Russell Wilson a bunch. Russell Wilson was awesome on there. But like that intensity of Peyton, I think we need to see that every week. It's like he's playing the fucking game almost. That was amazing. And Eli chimed in a couple good liners. I mean, it was a beautiful production, great game. Congrats to everybody. At Ty Schmidt, your thoughts as a studied film critic.
Yeah, I mean, it's Peyton's show. Like, people are going there. I mean, and last night just reinforced it. It's not like Eli was bad or anything, but like you can tell, like Peyton does. He's preparing like he's playing in the game, and just I don't know some of the stuff like that you could nitpick with like the audio mixing, where sometimes it would cut off them, and you'd get like you hear the game. Like, I assume that's just first week they'll clean that kind of stuff up.
Fire alarm.
Oh, exactly.
Hey, that's going to happen.
Right.
Hey, that fire alarm's going to happen. You don't have any control. And all you need is one little beep, beep, and then all of a sudden the whole place is insufferable, okay? There ain't nothing they can do about it.
But, like, to your point with Russell Wilson, I feel like there maybe aren't that many people who can kind of disarm him like Peyton can. Like, he acted like a human being last night for what I feel like the first time in, like, since he's been the Seahawks quarterback. Like,
jeez.
He usually is just so buttoned up.
By the way, yeah, I decided no more of that.
No, I'm paying him a massive compliment.
Yeah, but you kind of did your little thing where you
jab.
Yeah,
Well, most people would agree with me. Every time you see the guy, you know exactly what's going to come out of his mouth before it comes out of his mouth. And like last night, it wasn't like that. I was like, waiting. Like, oh, I'm actually very interested to like see what like that conversation was incredible. And I wish we'd get more of Russell Wilson doing that and less of Go Hawks.
And I think, hey, go Hawks, dude. He's not doing whatever he wants to do. I don't like that they go Hawks all over the Colts, though. I mean, they go Hawks all over the Colts.
Yeah.
Colts will be back. Hey, Kenny Moore wished my mother a happy birthday this morning. On
Nice.
his
That's nice.
Speaking of happy birthday,
Happy birthday,
Sal.
Sal.
Happy
Hey.
birthday, Sal. Woo! But that Monday Night Manning is if you love football, like you're going to love that.
Gotta be.
There was a couple people that said they couldn't do it because it was too much or something like that. It's like once you catch up to the flow of what they're saying and how they're doing it, though, it's an unbelievable experience. Legit. I feel like I learned more watching like 2 quarters last night than I have in maybe 34 years of existence in football, because there's only a few quarterbacks, and I think that's why the Russell Wilson-Peyton Manning thing was so cool, because I'm not saying Russell Wilson wanted to do this. I'm just saying it provided him an opportunity to showcase, say, hey, everybody talks about how smart everybody is. I just want to let everybody know, like, hey, I can call plays too if we have to.
I got it.
I know exactly where a ball's supposed to go. Me and Peyton are about to chat about what we see whenever we look at coverage. I mean, it was strictly ball almost. And then Dangerous Wilson, by the way, I mean, he knew I took back what I said. He was just trying to rally the troops right there. Because he had a blast talking ball with the Sheriff and Easy on Monday Night Football. Mr. Unlimited. Absolutely dominated last night. I mean, I loved it. That was a home run. Congrats to ESPN. Congrats to Omaha Productions. And congrats to Peyton and Eli, I guess, at this point, because he hasn't been around as long, for crushing everything you do in retirement. I fucking love it. It's awesome. Last night was a game changer for sports media. At Boston Connor, your thoughts?
I mean, I loved everything about it. Ty's mentioned the production a few times. You heard the producer come in going, hey, Peyton, we got to go to break 5, 4, 3, 2. And I mean, you can't have that, although I could rush to the bathroom real quick, so I wasn't missing any of the game. Ray Lewis came on, and when he came on, him and Eli talked about Eli calling Ray Lewis the mic, and Ray Lewis saying back to him on the field, I'm not the mic, Eli. And then Eli telling his whole team, all right, Ray's not the mic. Listen to Ray. It's the other guy who's the mic. I mean, the stories were incredible. And like you said, when you listen to those guys who are so cerebral and just like incredible at football.
6 hours a day of watching film on top of practice, they're going to be much smarter than you are at football.
Yes, and they like the way they can break everything down. I mean, Peyton legitimately, I think, could call every single play for the Raiders by just watching what formation the defense was in. It was incredible to watch. I loved it. I feel very, very, very bad for Steve Levy and the boys on ESPN because the ratings come out at 4 o'clock, I believe. I'm just going to tell you now, they got slaughtered.
No.
They got absolutely murdered.
Listen,
remember,
we thought this about, I think it was on ABC as well last night, right?
Yeah.
I think it was on ABC as well. So ABC is on.
Ratings will be massive.
Yeah.
Ratings will be massive for that. Just like, remember, we thought the Nickelodeon one was going to be much higher than it was, and we thought, maybe, is CBS lying about about what the Nickelodeon did?
Yeah.
Because our entire world, last night, my entire world was watching the Manning one, except for Mitt.
Right.
True.
I had no idea that Mitt was literally the only person that I have ever encountered, I think, in the history of my life that watched the regular Monday Night Football.
Yeah, he's a doofus.
And I like Steve Levy, okay? I love Louis Riddick. I love Greasy over there.
they're
And
good.
so I love the everybody over there as human. I do. I enjoy the hell out of them. But you're not... Nick, stop looking at me like that, dude.
Come on, Nick.
You can't be staring over Ty's shoulder. Your eyes that large. What is your issue? What did I... Who?
I love Greasy. I love
I do. I never met Greasy as a human, but I would assume I'd enjoy him. Louis Riddick has always been cool to me. Steve Levy's always been cool to me. That's what I'm saying here, okay? Like, they've always been very nice. But you're getting to watch the Mannings do Monday Night Football. You're gonna at least flip over there. And then once I started seeing what it was going to be, I think once again there was a couple things they tried that maybe the timing didn't work out, or maybe it was too rushed, too quick, however the case, whatever it is, early with some of the skits, it might have turned some of the people off, I guess, if you want to watch. But if you were listening to words being said, it was stupid. And the story's incredible. That Eli Manning with a 0.0 QBR against Ray in the first game, and then bringing up footage and clips because they have that shit from way back and the ability to do that. Absolutely incredible. There's a couple follow-up great stories to the interactions that you just referenced right there. So obviously, Ray told Eli his rookie year in a couple games that Ray was not the mic.
Yeah.
Okay, so Eli looks at 52's the mic. And Ray, Eli, I ain't the mic. And Eli would go, all right, Ray. And then he would just point at somebody else. And that was it. And he ended up going 0.0, worst game he said he's ever had, probably. It was a nightmare, obviously. And Ray just laughing in his face on the Monday Night Man. I think it's so funny. But I think there's a payback story that Peyton did not recall, but I think a lot of people know. There was a game, Colts versus Ravens, close to the end zone. We're driving in. We're in the red zone. And Peyton is literally telling Ray Lewis, you have 12 on the field. Ray, you have 12 on the field, Ray. Ray, you have 12 on the field. And Ray Lewis goes, starts looking around. Timeout. We did. Okay. And it's like that type of thing. I did not know that there's a mutual respect.
Yeah.
Ray was fucking with Eli, obviously. But I think the fact that Ray told Peyton, once I saw how much film you were studying, that changed the way I completely prepared. The respect level between, because they're competing against each other. Everybody tries to pin quarterbacks against quarterbacks. It's always normally Mike versus quarterback, unless you have savage safety or something, you get it. But normally it's Mike is calling plays on defensive side of the ball, making the shifts, making the motions, everything like that, reading audibly. Normally, this could be different now with different teams. And then you got the quarterback trying to do the same thing. And them pointing out, Derek made an audible, and then the Ravens defense made an audible, and then they caught Derek Carr, all happening in 6 seconds, by the way.
Yeah.
Listening to Peyton be like, Derek just saw this was cover zero, and then basically Peyton, I think Peyton or Ray was like, Ravensall knew that they audibled that, and they checked it as well, and then Derek had to roll out and throw it out of bounds. It was normally the analysis of that is, they had everybody covered, this is the perfect coverage for this is a good call by whoever made it. Listening to them be like, no, Derek just made a check, and then immediately upon hearing that, the linebacker made a check and changed what they were, and it was you're seeing, they always talk about chess game between coordinators. And Peyton, I think, was always the guy that people considered as a coordinator, which they should have. But what we actually got to see in real time and get pointed out by two of the best to ever do it was no, there's a lot of shit happening very quickly that even though it's mic'd up, nobody fucking knows what's going on other than the people that are in there. That type of shit is what I live for. And I think that is why I just thoroughly enjoyed last night. It was a fucking home run.